What's going on, y'all? Thanks for checking in the Khaliis Take. You know what to do. Hit that like, subscribe button. Also hit that notification bell just so you can get the newest and the bonus content first. But hey, let's just go ahead and jump right in.
I think Shannon Sharpe has a very good point by speaking on Anthony Davis' comments. And, it seems like Shannon Sharpe was very upset or disturbed by Anthony Davis' comments recently that was made on a show that he was on, saying that he hasn't played basketball or hasn't picked up a basketball since April 5th. One thing Shannon said, some things are made to be kept to yourself. And I definitely have to agree with Shannon Sharpe on that because, you don't want to give off an impression like, basketball is secondary to you, like it's just a hobby. You don't want to come off like a Kyrie Irving does at times, especially when you're a player like Anthony Davis, who is looked at or revered as a potential, top 5 talented type player, and you're coming off an injury or you're always injured, seem like from week to week, and you haven't really played good since the bubble, which was like 2 years ago. And, when I think about Anthony Davis, I think about a supremely talented, player. I definitely think he's, when his head is on right and when his body feels up to it, he can definitely be, in today's game, he could be revered as a top 10 player, in today's game, because he definitely has, a lot of all the attributes. I mean, he can shoot, he can go into paint, he can step back with a 17-footer. He can defend a little bit, pretty well. Anthony Davis pretty much has all the tools. A couple years ago, he was shooting like close to 80 plus, I think about 84, 83% from the free throw line. For a big man, that's a treasure. That's a good thing for a big man, So Anthony Davis really has all the tools in the tool bag. It's just that he can't find the tool bag, because he's always injured or something always comes and steps in front of him to not allow him to play to the level he should. And, I've always said one thing about Anthony Davis. He has all the talent in the world. He just doesn't have the dog mentality. And to me, it doesn't matter how good of a player you are. It doesn't matter how much talent you have. If you don't have that dog, go get it mentality, it's going to hold you back in a lot of areas or a lot of situations where you should excel. And this is why I said, to me, Anthony Davis hasn't really played good since the bubble. You know what I'm saying? He hasn't played like the Anthony Davis that a lot of us know that he could be. And see, that is a problem to me because, the Lakers, there again, LeBron James handpicked Anthony Davis, to join the ride on the Lakers bandwagon, a couple years ago. And they did win a championship in the bubble, but a lot of people think that's a fraud championship or that championship has an asterisk beside it. Me personally, a championship's a championship, but at the same time, everybody looks at things differently. And I definitely respect anybody's opinion who looks at that because, the bubble was a situation that was very uncomfortable for players. They really didn't want to be away from their families. They really didn't want to play basketball. Basketball was probably the last thing on players' minds at that time. The Lakers were just more driven by the Kobe Bryant situation and, LeBron getting older and, trying to, mend for what happened to Lakers Nation, because Kobe was a huge loss for us and everything. And they wanted to try to mend that by winning a championship for him, his family, LA, the city of LA, everything, what I'm saying? So they had a lot on them and they had a lot of, pride and everything, riding on that. And then, their own, success of wanting to win a championship too, that definitely helped as well. But that's my point. Since then, Anthony Davis really hasn't been a top 5, top 10 caliber type player, I'm saying? Not to me. And this is why when I see him match up against, Jokic's and everybody now, Giannis and all of them, they just go at him and they kill him, I'm saying? And like I said, one of the last matchups I actually watched of Anthony Davis, like literally watched his game 100% closely. I wanted to see how he would do against one of his Kentucky rivals or teammates back in the day was Karl Anthony Towns. It was a game they played last year against Minnesota. Karl Anthony Towns basically abused Anthony Davis, was, holding up the sign, the gesture, like he's too small for me. He's not, on my level. And I'm like, wow, Anthony Davis getting dominated like that by Karl Anthony Towns. Now, Karl Anthony Towns is good, but I don't think he's on the level of an Anthony Davis, or at least I didn't think he was up until that point. So this is what I'm saying. You have players like this, of Anthony Davis caliber, and it just doesn't. It's just not. It just doesn't look promising going forward, Anthony Davis. Because even Shannon said, he basically should. Even Skip agreed. He basically should be the forefront of the team. He should be the number one player now. But you still got LeBron out there scoring 30 plus points, 29, 30 plus points a game because Anthony Davis is not around to pick up the slack. Anthony Davis is not around to take onus of the team and be the guy. You see what I'm saying? And that's a problem for the Lakers. And this is the reason why I said I don't think the Lakers are going nowhere no time soon, because Anthony Davis is not taking sole possession of that number one guy role on the Lakers, where LeBron could take a back seat and play the number two best player on the team and kind of relax a little bit and feed off of Anthony Davis' injury, because LeBron is not at the point where he can carry teams anymore. We saw that now. He can put up a lot of points, but they're just empty calories, as Shannon usually says, because it didn't equate to any winning. So that's a problem, for the Lakers. And, Anthony Davis, to me, I agree with Shannon wholeheartedly. If you missed all those games in the offseason, if you missed all those games in the season, when the season was here, and you were injured 90% of the time, seemed like you should be motivated to go out there and pick up a basketball and play every single day. Now, I will say this too, in Anthony Davis' defense, there are things that get said where it might not be the truth. Maybe Anthony Davis was being sarcastic about saying that he hasn't picked up a basketball since April 5th or something like that. Maybe he was being sarcastic about that. You got to kind of, play both sides with that. But at the same time, it still comes off as a bad impression, especially if you want to be looked at as one of the top players in the league. And it just comes off like you're not working on your game the way you're supposed to, elevating your game to another level. When you look at a player like Giannis, where you see where he started, it's like he gets better and better at something every year. He got better at scoring. He got better at dominating. He got a little bit better with his free throws. It just seems like he's evolving more and more, and Anthony Davis is the one that's staying stagnant. You see what I'm saying? So it's like when Anthony Davis got that championship and everything, it's like everything changed for AD. It's like his mentality is different or something like that. And that's not good if you're a Lakers fan, because you want to see your players continuously have that drive and that hunger for more, rather than just settle for, one championship and that's the end all be all. So, we'll have to see exactly, what, comes of this season coming up. I want to see if Anthony Davis is going to stay healthier and play better overall, because I guarantee you that's what other Lakers fans and other NBA fans are going to be anticipating, just by that video going viral that he hasn't touched a basketball. And it's almost like some people might take that like he's using basketball as a hobby, as a secondary job rather than his first job. So Anthony Davis has been disappointing ever since the bubble has ended, and he just couldn't stay healthy. A lot of people say, oh, well, if Anthony Davis is healthy, Lakers will be better, this and that. But how do you know that? How can you prove that the Lakers will be so much better if Anthony Davis is healthy, when he's making comments like this and he doesn't have that dog mentality to go out there and make something happen and just be dominant on a consistent basis, where he has the talent to do it, but he's just not doing it. He's not putting it into action. And this is the problem that a lot of people have with Anthony Davis. But there again, a lot of excuses were made for the Lakers this past season with why they didn't make the bubble. And a lot of people said, even some of the analysts, saying that Anthony Davis wasn't healthy. So if that's the case, and if that's the end all be all resolution, Anthony Davis being healthy will make the Lakers so much of a better team, then we're going to see that this upcoming season. And the comments that Anthony Davis has made about not picking up a basketball, all this and that, all
all that's going to come to fruition when the next season starts, I should say. So we'll see it all then. If what he's saying is true, and if he's really what a lot of people think he is and everything, we'll see that in the season, because everybody kept saying if Anthony Davis is healthy, the Lakers are a better team. And I kind of tend to disagree, because just because he's healthy doesn't mean they're going to be a better team. No, it doesn't, because that doesn't fix their defense. That doesn't fix the fact that he's getting dominated by Jokic's and all these other players every time they see him. It doesn't fix the fact that, he's not reliable in regards to being a dominant player consistently. And it definitely doesn't disregard the fact of his health. So, I mean, and then when you think about that, if all this is true about him, why you hear so many reports about he's possibly the one that they think about trading? I mean, in all these reports that you see on sportsillustrated.com and all these other sites, you hear all this stuff by Anthony Davis because the front office sees what everybody else sees. Super talented guy, got a lot of upside to him, definitely a superstar caliber type player. But if you're not reliable, that's not good enough. That's not helping. And see, there again, I agree with Shannon on one more thing that he said about Anthony Davis. Dwight Howard should have been a top 75 player over Anthony Davis. And I 100% agree with that. Anthony Davis, to me, hasn't done a damn thing really in this league to be a top 75 player, if you ask me. He got the one championship in the bubble, but like I said, that's fraud to a lot of people. That's a question mark type championship, because a lot of people don't even respect that. I mean, like I said, they just don't. I mean, because half the players didn't even want to be there. Half the players wanted to be there with their family. They didn't even want to play basketball. Half the players' mind wasn't even there. So it's like, if that's the notion, that's the case, he do got that one championship on his resume, but what else has he done other than that to be like a dominant figure or something like that? To me, a top 75 player should be a dominant figure for several years and stay, healthy as much as possible, and, all those type of things. And I've said before, Dwight Howard, when he was on Orlando, he was a dominant figure for years. I mean, a mega superstar. And on top of that, he didn't win it, but he carried the Orlando Magic as being the best player on a team all the way to an NBA Finals. He lost to Kobe Bryant, but there's no shame in that. That's Kobe Bryant and the Lakers. But he carried the Orlando Magic to the NBA Finals pretty much, I'm not going to say by himself, but he was the best player on the team. I never seen Anthony Davis carry the Pelicans anywhere when he was on there. You see what I'm saying? So I definitely take Dwight Howard as a top 75 player over Anthony Davis. I don't even know what the voters did there, but that's just my little tidbit there. Then that's my opinion on that. But we'll see what comes of Anthony Davis and this upcoming season, because he's gonna have to do a lot of explaining, because if the Lakers are still failing and they're not playing up to their potential, we're gonna have to see what Anthony Davis is gonna do to help, better their future going forward. But hey, that's my take on everything. Leave any comments in the comment section. Check out my other videos if you haven't. And hey, Khaliis.